Someone makes a joke at your expense, in front of everyone. You smile, laugh it off, pretend it didn't bother you. Or someone cuts you off right in the middle of your sentence, and you stop talking because you don't want to make things awkward. Or you ask for something simple. They say, later, and you never bring it up again. Small moments, you probably won't even remember them by tonight. They will. Here's what nobody tells you. People don't start disrespecting you when they cross the line. They start the moment you pretend there wasn't a line. Because there's one rule that quietly decides how people treat you. Everything you tolerate becomes the rule. Not the exception, the rule. Every time you let something slide just to keep the peace, you didn't protect the relationship. You rewrote the terms of how people get to treat you. The strongest people don't live like that. They don't let the small things slide. By the end of this video, you'll see the exact second that rule gets written, and how to stop writing it against yourself. Let's start with something that sounds completely fair. You think respect has to be earned. Be kind. Be reliable. Don't make people's lives harder, and eventually, they'll appreciate you. It's comforting to believe that, because then whatever happens next isn't really your fault. But people don't remember what you said. They remember what happened after you said nothing. Everything you tolerate becomes the rule. They don't remember what bothered you. They remember what got no reaction. And the next time, they treat it like it's normal. Not because they made a decision, because nothing told them otherwise. Picture two people working on the same team. The first one is kind, easygoing, always says yes, lets everything go. The second person isn't tougher, isn't louder. They just have one line you don't cross. Someone crossed it once. They got a calm, clear response. It never happened again. 6 months later, the first person is carrying other people's work, getting interrupted, having plans canceled at the last minute. The second person isn't, not because they're more important, because the first one let it slide once, and it became the norm. The second drew the line once, and that became the norm too. Each of them is living by what they taught other people. And here's the uncomfortable part. People aren't doing this because they're cruel. You taught them what was okay. Every, it's fine. Every, don't worry about it. Every, no big deal. Added another line to the rule book for how people could treat you. They're not writing it. They're just reading it back to you. And this doesn't just happen at work. The same thing shows up everywhere another person exists. Friendships. There's always the one who texts first, makes the plans, adjusts their schedule, keeps the friendship alive. People like them. People care about them. But somehow, they're always the last person anyone makes time for, because everyone knows they'll say yes anyway. One time they accepted what didn't work for them, and little by little, that became the norm. Family. That's where it hurts the most. Because everything gets explained away. That's just how they are. They're family. Don't take it personally. Someone speaks to you in a tone they'd never use with a stranger. Once. Twice. 10 years later, nothing has changed. Because one day, you decided keeping the peace was easier than drawing the line. The silence from 17 became the rule at 40. Look closely. Every room in your life has a line you drew yourself, usually with one moment, one smile, one silence, one thing you let slide. But kindness is only half the problem. The other half is even more dangerous, because it disguises itself as maturity. You call it keeping the peace, picking your battles, being the bigger person. Let's slow it down. What actually happens in the second you decide to let it slide? Someone makes a small move. Not a real offense. A test. A joke that goes just a little too far. They take something that isn't theirs. They speak to you in a tone they wouldn't use with an equal. That's the line. The moment they find out what you'll allow. Someone nudges it and waits to see what happens. Then comes half a second. The smallest pause. the one almost nobody notices. Catch it, and the line stays where it is. Stay silent, and they've just crossed it. And where they're standing now becomes the new normal. You tell yourself, it's not worth it. I'll keep the peace. I don't want to make this awkward. But here's what they heard. Nothing happens here. I can do that again. And right there the account opens. The first time is the down payment. Every silence after that becomes another payment on a debt you created yourself. The second time, another payment. The third, another payment. Months go by. Now you're wondering why people keep treating you this way. You're not paying for today's silence. You're still paying off the smile that let it happen the first time. Because big disrespect doesn't become normal overnight. The rule is written much earlier, back when it still felt too small to say anything. That's the trap. As long as it feels too small to react, it has everything it needs to become normal. And that's still only the surface, because underneath being kind and keeping the peace, there's one law that makes them both dangerous. I'll show you what it is in a second, but first, be honest. Where was the last time you said, "It's fine"? That's the moment you wrote the rule you're still living by. Here's the root of it. Kindness isn't what hurts you. Neither is keeping the peace. They both become dangerous because they obey the same law. Every person who knows you is carrying a picture of you in their mind. And that picture wasn't built from your words. It was built from what happened without consequences. People don't treat you the way you want to be treated. They treat you the way you quietly taught them to. Not because they're cruel, not because they planned it, because that's what worked last time. Your silence didn't look like strength. It didn't look like patience. It looked like permission. Epictetus, who was born a slave and later became one of history's great Stoic philosophers, opened the Enchiridion with one simple idea. Some things are within your control. Others aren't. And here's what matters. Whether someone crosses the line isn't fully up to you. Whether that crossing becomes the rule is. That's your part. That's where your freedom lives. And here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They think not letting it slide means exploding, raising your voice, making a scene. You don't respect me! That's just another way of handing over the remote, only louder. But swallowing it isn't strength either. Swallowed resentment isn't peace. It's silent permission. There's a third option, a calm boundary. No performance, no anger, no lecture, just clarity, a line, and a consequence that quietly follows. So, should you become hard? Snap at people? Push back every single time? No. That's the same weakness, just turned inside out. An aggressive person isn't in control. They're still reacting. They just react earlier and louder. A calm boundary looks almost boring. From the outside, most people won't even notice it, but everything starts changing. Before, someone crossed the line and you smiled. You let it slide. Now, there's a pause. A steady voice. Don't talk to me like that. No speech, no explanation, no performance. One sentence. The line goes back where it belongs. Before, you said yes because saying no felt awkward. Now, the awkwardness belongs to them, not to you. You say, no. And you don't apologize 3 times for saying it. But here's the part most people miss. A boundary without consequences isn't a boundary, it's a request. If they cross it again, you don't get louder, you get less available, less time, less access, quietly. No drama, no war, just consequences. Every time you stop letting it slide, you aren't starting a fight. You're putting the line back where it belongs. You're making one last payment on an old debt. And eventually, there's nothing left to pay. The goal was never to become harder. The goal is to stop paying for the things that keep making you smaller. Here's what happens when you stop letting things slide. At first, people won't like it. Some of them will say you've changed, that you've become more difficult. That's okay. They don't miss the old you. They miss the version of you that came without consequences, and they feel that version disappearing. Then something shifts. People start asking instead of assuming. They stop interrupting you. The jokes become a little more careful. Not because you became intimidating, because now there's a line, and everyone knows it's real. But here's the strange part. This doesn't only work with other people, it works with you too. The first promise you broke without consequences became the norm. I'll wake up earlier. I'll stop scrolling. I'll finish it tomorrow. One exception. Then another. Then another. Until one day, that's simply who you became. You let it slide with yourself. And that became your standard. That's why this video was never really about other people. It was about the terms you've been setting for your own life, without realizing it. If you remember only one thing from this video, make it this. What you let slide becomes the rule. Not what you say, not who you want to be, only what passes without consequences. If you want a different life, stop letting the wrong things become normal. What did you let slide once? That's now the norm. With others or with yourself? Write one word. Most people will spend their whole lives letting things slide, and they'll never understand why they keep living by terms they never chose. If you don't want to become one of them, subscribe, because the next video is about how to start setting those terms yourself.